Hey, what's up everyone, it's Grim here, and I was looking through the Rogue Traders on the Eternal Crusade site, and I'd looked through it before 100 times, but something dawned on me this time, and I want to share it with you guys and see what you think, because I think it could actually be a really cool, interesting twist in the game. Now, if you look on the Rogue Traders site, or you look on the Rogue Traders page I should say, you will notice under Chaos that they have something known as a Fallen Captain. Now, I hadn't really paid much attention to this, hadn't really read through it, because I don't intend on playing Chaos. But I was like, I'm going to read through all of these now, see if they put any more descriptions up, which they said they would. So I clicked on the Fallen Captain, and it is actually one of the Fallen Dark Angels. Now, for those of you that don't play, I know my fellow Dark Angel brethren, I'm going to share our darkest secret with people, but it has to be done. Now, I'm not going to go into the lore heavy side of it, I'm literally just going to give you a quick synopsis. In essence, when the Lion, the Primarch of the Dark Angels, took his boys and they went off into the galaxy and they did all these great things, they left behind a garrison led by Luther, like the Lion's very best friend. They'd grown up together on their feudal world and they were the best of buds. Anyway, Dark Angels went off, they kicked ass, they were doing all this good stuff, the heresy began. Now, at this point the Dark Angels are out on the arse into nowhere, so they can't help defend Terra or anything, but they're going around after the heresy, they're cleaning up stuff, they get back to the home world, and it turns out that Luther has been pissed. He is fucked off with the fact that he got left on what he believes is some Dust Bowl arse world in the middle of nowhere, receiving no glory. These guys' glory is like everything. They are, think of them as the knights of old. Glory, chivalry, it's the thing for them. And basically the Lion has gone off, he is sung in the highest praises. He is a god among men. And all of a sudden Luther is left like some little backwater garrison commander, and he's pissed, and he actually turns to Chaos. And in the end his whole garrison turns to Chaos, and when the Lion returns with the fleet, he opens fire and actually attacks his own Dark Angel brothers. Now, anyway, huge gigantic fight. The Lion is wounded, mortally wounded, and I'm not going to go into that bit because that's the dark secret of us. But in that fit that Luther realises that he's struck down the Lion, he freaks out. The Chaos Gods realise that they've lost this world, and that Luther's gone crazy because he's killed his best friend and realised it. So they end up opening a warp rift in the middle of their home planet, destroys the whole planet, apart from it basically turns the planet into an asteroid belt, and the Dark Angel's home has got force generators and force fields, and it keeps that bit safe. So they basically live on an asteroid chunk now. But yeah, so because this was so out of the way, nobody knew it happened. Only the Dark Angels knew. And now it's become something that only the very highest, so only the Deathwing and above, only the veterans of the Dark Angels know that this ever happened. They will go so far as to kill Inquisitors. They will kill anybody that they need to stop this being found out. They will disobey direct orders. And this is the interesting thing. Okay, you're going to be able to, and I don't know if you'll be able to change into a Fallen, or if you'll be able to call a Fallen onto the battlefield. I'm not quite sure how these work yet. But how is that going to work when Dark Angels suddenly see a Fallen appear? Now, I know what you're going to say. Grim, normal Space Marines of the Dark Angels don't even know what a Fallen is. But remember this, we are being led by real players. So the higher up the food chain, you're not being led by some NPC character, you're being led by real players. Now, they are technically veterans of your company, going all the way up to the Council, okay? The Council will consist of leaders of each of the factions that are there. Sorry, each of the, Space Marine factions which are there. So, it would be fantastic if, let's say, you're doing, all the Space Marine factions have come together, you've got Space Wolves, Blood Angels, all of us are there. And it's like, right, assault this building, assault this position, we're going to take this tower. And all of a sudden, there's this Fallen appears, and our commander can see that there's a Fallen on the battlefield somewhere. And he turns around and he directly says to his troops, guys, do not go after, don't attack the rear entrance, don't defend your brothers as you were supposed to, go after the Fallen. go after their, just send the whole lot after this Fallen. That will make a really interesting roleplay side to the game. Now, there'll have to be rewards, because if the Dark Angel managed to catch up, Fallen are really tricky to get hold of, because they just generally disappear. They are super rare to find on the battlefield, and they are extremely difficult to actually capture. When they are captured, generally the Space Marines, the Dark Angels, will torture them relentlessly to get them to repent. There's loads of lore to it. I might actually do the lore one day, because thinking about it is amazing lore. It's really, really good. But yeah, they torture them, and there's like guys that have been doing it for hundreds, thousands of years, and like every time they get one of the Fallen to repent, they get a rosary bead, and there's like guys that only have one rosary bead, if that. So it's super rare. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. There'd have to be some sort of reward for the Dark Angels managing to get one, but it'd be super interesting to see if they're going to make that something. If not, and they've just put them in for nothing, it'd be a real shame, because that'd be a real loss. But what do you guys think about the Fallen being on the battlefield, especially you Dark Angels fans? What do you think?